Welcome back to the Live to Grind podcast show. I'm Bernie C. Adams, and today we have a special show. We have a show, we're like on top of cloud 9 right now. We have Candice Michelle here. We have her kids here that are amazing, by the cutest kids ever. We have KenGee Ehrlich, who is the good chiropractor, and we're here to do the most interesting interview that you're going to hear. And we're here at Live to Grind. Yes. So I want to start off while we jump in the show. And by the way, your kids are amazing.
Thank you.
They're so cute.
Thank you.
I want to start off, where did you guys meet? Because we'll get into the wrestling, we'll get into the good role, we'll get all that, but where did you two meet?
Well, you know, I was from Wisconsin, and I moved to LA to make my dreams come true. And the first weekend I went out with two of my girlfriends, we went to this place called the Key Club. So this is a famous club on Sunset Strip. Many people have heard of it. And we walk in, and now we're 3 girls from Wisconsin, and we're 20. So I'm not sure how we got in the club, but somehow we did. And there's like this dominatrix show in a cage hanging from the ceiling. And we're like, okay, we've never seen this in Wisconsin. And we walk in and we go to the dance floor, and there was like 6 guys with their shirts off, and they're all shredded.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't see this in Wisconsin either. And I said to my best friend, I said, he's the one. And she said, he's funny looking. Because he did have some mascara on back then, some eyeliner, see-through leopard shirt. And somehow I knew that day.
He was the one.
And we've been together ever since.
Yep.
Almost 19 years.
How old were you two then?
Wait, do you know
this
20s? In one more year, it's to be half of my life I've been with this guy.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome to see.
Good times.
Half of my life.
Yeah.
Right? That's like crazy.
Half of your life.
Half of my
You're
life.
so blessed.
So before we get into, I have so many questions, but before we get into that, so tell me about you. How did you even get into chiropractic? I mean, you've been a chiropractor for the stars and all over in Hollywood. Like, how'd you get to become a chiropractor? What was your journey on that? Why did you one day, were you a kid and you wrote a picture? I want to become a chiropractor.
No one
ever
wants that. All chiropractors are chiropractors because we're messed up.
Your back's messed up.
And so, like, I was in school. I was at UCSB, which is not a party school. And I was in a car accident. And I rolled the car a bunch of times, and I got out. I thought I was fine. And so I went back up to school. I played the drums. It was the quints. I put the quints on, and my legs buckled. I was like, oh, that's weird. And so I'm like, maybe I should, I didn't know what it was because I didn't have any pain. It's just my legs went out. And so it started happening more frequently where I would step off a curb and my legs would kind of buckle. And then finally, like, I was in a Wiener Schnitzel. And I don't eat that anymore. But through my Play-Doh and my legs went out, and I was like sitting there for a few minutes. I was like, like something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends referred me to a chiropractor. And I went, and it was like 12 weeks later, I was like, oh, I'm better. I was like, I'm going to be a chiropractor.
How old were you then?
Before that,
I was like 20.
20.
he wanted to be a Japanese rapper.
No. I wanted to make. I was a music major, and I wanted to make beats for rap songs.
So what happened to that dream?
It's still there.
It's still happening.
Did you want to hear my song?
We'll show it another time.
Okay.
So you got into chiropractic. What brought you guys to LA?
I've always kind of been here.
Are you from LA?
Ish.
LA-ish?
Lancaster, which is like...
It's like an hour and a half away. It's like the... it's like the...
In the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
It's like armpit.
It's not quite like Gardnerville, my town of 750 people. But it's a small town.
It's a small town.
It's not small. It's actually nice now.
Now it is, but when he used to
When I grew up there,
like
I never saw a mall until I went to school, to college.
So I want to talk about, so you guys as a couple, Candice, we're talking about this before on set.
You can only have 2 of those, okay?
Okay, go.
Tell everybody that you're organic kids. Why do we eat organic?
Why do you eat organic?
Because we're organic kids.
Yeah. What does non-organic do to you?
Makes you sick.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes you sick.
You heard it there
Okay.
from the kids.
From a 7-year-old. Good job. High five.
Do we eat 8s or 9s? You know that question?
Okay. I love you.
9 is fine.
Candice, you said earlier when we were filming, we're on set filming for the commercial for The Good Roll. You said that the year when you did GoDaddy and cover a Playboy, like all that happened in so much shorter period of time. What was that like? Like what was your life before then? Like before getting to that moment, what were you doing?
Well, for me, like, you know, when you move to Hollywood, I think everybody kind of has this fantasy of a big break, right? Yeah. For me, I don't have that philosophy. I don't have that philosophy in any area of my life, and I still don't, even though I got a big break in that year. For me, it's about outworking everybody. The harder you work, you know, the results will just happen. Like, it's just science. Like, you can outwork everybody, and you can be successful in anything you do if you put the work in and the time in. There's no shortcuts, really.
Yeah.
That year was just like exemplified because I got a big break. You know,
but she was working at Dublin's on Sunset.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's hear about the work. That's what I want to hear. What were you doing before you had that break? Like, what kind of work? Where were you working? What were you doing day in and day out?
I was a waitress.
Yeah, and her.
But I was a hell of a waitress.
But her like acting career was basically all you do is drive to auditions every day. That's it. And if you
so you were an actor.
If you land one out of what, you're successful.
If you have like one, you know, national commercial a year, you're considered, you know, the top 1%. You know, like it's small.
And she got 3 in a year.
Yeah, well, with GoDaddy, you know, that was
Midas.
awesome. Oh, yeah, I mean, there was a few.
She got like landed 3.
But, you know, it's one of those things, like some people come out here and they're just like, oh, I'm going to just audition. You know, well, you got to pay the bills. Like, you got to be smart, you know? So, like, I'd audition all day and I'd work all night, you know? So
every day.
And she worked at Dublin, so that was
Sunset.
like awesome for me.
So
like,
you could
let me
hang
go
out.
have some
go hang out.
Guinnesses in the corner booth and hang out. And then she would wake me up later when she was done.
You guys are like the perfect couple. so when you did this, because a lot of people don't know this, everybody comes to Hollywood and they think they're just gonna make it.
Yeah.
And they don't put in the work. You did exactly what it took. Because what they're like, you know, if I don't make it, I'll do a plan B, I'll go home. Well, you just worked your butt off, and then you got the opportunity. So when you got the opportunity for GoDaddy for the commercial, I mean, what was that like? Because you got it, and you would have never expected it was going to blow everything up.
Tell them about the audition process.
Well, the audition process was kind of awesome because I had been auditioning for a while. And I get called in for this audition. They tell me it's a national commercial. So I'm just excited because I know that's a big commercial.
Yeah.
And I go in and they're like, okay, so
They were auditioning for several days, and this was the very last day.
They had auditioned in all the major cities: Chicago, New York, Miami,
So it's a Super Bowl
Texas.
commercial. Like, it's huge.
And
And it's their first one. Like, they're dumping a lot of their
How many
money.
auditions they have? How many people tried out for that spot?
Thousands. And this was the last audition that they were hosting. They hadn't found a girl yet that they liked.
She was like the last.
And it was via Skype.
Day.
So it was a little weird. So I walked in and I was actually talking to they had like a big TV and I was on Skype with this producer. And I was like, okay, at that time, you know, this was like all new.
Yeah.
And he called Bob Parsons and he was like, I just want to let you know I found your future ex-wife.
Your future.
She's got the job.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I got it, and then the big day came up for filming, and I did everything to prepare. This was like my first really big national commercial. So the night before, you know, I work out and I meal prep and get my outfits ready, and you know, just everything ready. I'm like, you know, I'm prepared. And I wake up in the morning with the worst flu on the planet. I was like, this sucks. And I went there, and I feel bad for the makeup artist, was just touching me up every few seconds, but we made like the biggest, name for GoDaddy with that commercial. So.
You exploded. And then all of a sudden, once that happened, how many people are contacting you that wanted you for other stuff?
Well, I woke up the next morning after the Super Bowl commercial aired, and one didn't air that was supposed to air. And I had like 60 voicemails, and it was like mind-blowing. I was worried. I thought, oh my God, who got hurt? Somebody back home got hurt. And it was just everybody wanting interview after interview. And but for me, that's exciting. It's like, that's the payoff, you know. It's like,
that was right there.
Yeah.
That overnight success. It
Yeah.
took you so many days, nights
Right.
of waitressing, doing all the
Yeah.
casting calls. Thousands of people wanted that position. You got it.
I mean, it was a big break. It really was. It was like, but you can't plan for those, you know.
No.
You just work hard, and that was like a cherry on top.
So what led you into wrestling then?
In the same month, literally, my agent calls me and says, "Hey, Candice, you know, I'm not sure if you're interested in this or not, but the WWE is holding its first ever Diva Search contest, and they're going to give the winner $100,000 and a 1-year contract." And like secretly, I was like, "Heck yeah, I'm interested," because. You okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Don't stop.
It'll
for
work.
me.
Oh, I was like, heck yeah, I'm interested, because what he didn't know is
I'll tuck it in.
I grew up on wrestling.
Yeah.
And I actually had Hulk Hogan dolls instead of Barbie dolls.
Oh my God.
And wrestling for me, it was almost weird how it came full circle on how I watched it every Monday night with my stepdad, Ken. And it was like, okay, yeah, I'm totally into this. And I went out and I got cut in the top 10. And I was really upset. And I've been auditioning for
Totally.
years. So, you know, getting
She was
cut.
like, that was my thing.
I was like, that was my thing. Like, you know, like I belong there. Like, that's me. And so that one really stung. And like a few weeks later, they called me and they offered me a 3-year deal.
Before the show was even done.
Yeah.
So you
So
made
that
it.
was cool.
Done.
You made it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, but that's really
Kind
when
of.
the hard work began,
She
right?
made it as an eye candy prop on
I was
the
a
show.
they called me a makeup artist. And I was like,
Yeah,
Go
because
ahead.
she was just there to be pretty.
It's funny. My co-host said for a show when you get a deal, it's like you make it, but then that's when the work begins.
yeah, it really is.
That's when it really begins because
Yeah.
you're put on pedestal. You have like people watching you.
yeah.
So let's go to you, KenGee. So during this time, talk about building up your chiropractic center because I witnessed the other day you do 93 adjustments in 3.5 hours, which I didn't know was possible. I mean, what's the most you've done in a day? How many?
201.
200 adjustments in a day?
201.
201?
Yep, 201.
Everyone counts when you get to that level.
Is that like a record? Has anybody ever done that? Like,
Yeah,
is there?
people have done that. My mentors have done that, and they taught.
Who are your mentors?
They taught me how. Dr. Fred Schofield.
Where's he? Does he still do chiropractic?
He still practices. He's over 60 years old.
Where's he live?
Still sees over 100 a day. In Scottsdale,
He lives in Scottsdale.
Arizona.
You're gonna have to come during the trip. Wow. So how'd you get him as a mentor?
So long time ago, I was right when I started chiropractic. I was trying to hustle, and I was at a health fair, and or not a health fair. I was just some street fair, and I had my chiropractic garb on. I was like trying to look like a medical doctor, and I was trying to do screenings, and then one of my buddies comes up that was training with Dr. Fred. He's like, hey, like this dude's hustling. So he kind of invited me to go see this guy. And we all kind of had a powwow one night, like me, a couple guys I went to school with, and we're like out of school maybe 2 years, like nothing.
Yeah.
And I thought I was doing good because I was seeing like 30 people a week, and that's the most that
30
like,
a week, not a day.
No. And I was doing okay, like compared to my other friends who were seeing like 10 or 15 a week. I'm like, I'm doing good. I'm like top of the heap. And then like one of my friends is all, dude, get your head out of your ass. I just saw 500 last week. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, okay. He's all, come with me to the seminar. I'm like, oh, let's go.
What was the
I'm like,
seminar called?
Schofield Chiropractic Training. So this guy Schofield, he is basically the first chiropractic trainer, and he's been training people like, and it's all just philosophy based on how to really care for the person and and believe in the body's power to heal itself.
So I've actually had a chiropractor on. It was like 2 years ago, and he had a practice in Indianapolis. But for you, how did you build your practice up?
Basically,
How'd you go from 30 a week to up to 100 a day?
Basically, it's just you give a good product. That's
What's
it.
your product?
And it's
more than just adjustment. Tell me your product. I've seen people
the product-
on camera pour their heart out, but you were the person that changed their life. I'm serious.
The product is not pain relief, but what your body can do when you're out of pain. So like, I can pick my kid up again. That's the product. Or I can play baseball again. That's the product. It's not like I'm in
Selling
pain.
the dream almost.
Like everybody has pain, you know, but what is that pain preventing you from doing? And that's what I provide for people, and that's what I strive. So when I connect with a patient, I don't care about their pain. I care, but I don't care. What my question is what is this pain preventing you from doing? And that's what our goal is.
So you're helping them get that.
So like we're off of pain. We're like, oh, you want to ride horses again? That's my goal. Let's do everything we can to get you to ride horses again. Or, you know, you want to hike or you want to pick babies up, whatever.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
And for KenGee, like you know, have you ever like gone to a trainer that's overweight? Like,
yeah, it doesn't make sense,
that
does
doesn't
it?
make sense.
No,
Or,
actually I do.
Right?
Yeah, I haven't gone to them, but I've seen them.
You've seen them, right? Or like
You want abs like these.
a broke financial advisor, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you go to a financial advisor that has no money?
Yeah.
You know? And KenGee really lives, eats, and breathes the chiropractic lifestyle. I mean, from everything he does, like the way
He lives his product.
the way he sleeps, he does it. Like everything he teaches his patients or what we sell in our office is stuff that we use at home.
I don't know
with our
what you
kids.
mean.
So for the listeners, his tattoo is basically a spine going down his back.
Okay,
He's becoming it.
You
It's
didn't
becoming
see the
it.
best part.
All the way. Let's see
the
it.
foundation.
Candice, look at that. That's true love. Candice on the back end for listeners, Facebook Live. Candice on the back end.
Wait, what is that called?
Tramp stamp.
My husband
Candice-
has a tramp stamp for his life.
And she's got a tramp set. I love it.
Because I love her. And if you don't love your wife, you don't have one.
So Candice, I want to go into, and then we're going to tie into the good role. How the wrestling life.
Yeah.
So what was that like? What was that like?
It was awesome. You know,
Take you?
it's not a life like what people think. Like, you know, when people are a champion at something, you think of like bright lights and first class and all this stuff, but it's like, it's really like that knit and grit and the grime and the hard work really kicks in then. Like if you think you worked hard to become champion, like when you're a champion, it's like, you know, you're up at 5 a.m, you're interviewing, you're on talk shows, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're training extra hard because everybody wants to knock you off the top, right? It's
Everybody
true.
does,
But they
yeah.
say like being on the top is lonely, right? But there's just like something in me that just loves that, like that grind, you know, that like
Feels good,
you
don't it?
live to grind, right? Like when you stop growing, you just stop living, you know? And so like when you're in that journey and you're doing all that hard work that nobody else will do, you know? Nobody's driving 200 miles a night to get to the next town to perform. You know, nobody's working out every day with 2 hours of sleep, you know? Like nobody's doing that. It sucks,
Out
right?
of everything you did, what was the most memorable moment of just in the wrestling, in that business, and just doing all that? Like it's one moment you would never forget, or maybe a surreal moment.
For me, you know, most people would think it'd be winning the championship, which obviously was like amazing because I was that first girl from Hollywood to win the women's championship. But for me, it was like the first real match I got. It was against my arch nemesis, Melina. And there was a moment when I heard that crowd cheer for me for the first time. You know, our crowd, our fans, they're amazing. But they're legit. Like, they don't just cheer for you because you walked out and you're cute, you know? Like, they realized that I worked my ass off to get to this point. And they saw that in me. And, like, that was my reward. You know? I lost that match. But they saw it, you know? And I felt that. You know, when you have 10, 20,000 people live, you know? And they're just like, I see your work, you know, like that's the moment.
They even felt when you win, they felt it, but when you lost, they felt it too.
Yeah, and that first match, I went back to the locker room and I felt proud of that match, and it was short. It was like 3 minutes. And I go back to shower, and there's a knock on the door. And they're like, Candice, Vince McMahon's at the door. I was like, holy shit, like, what did I do wrong? Like, he doesn't come out a gorilla for anything, you know? And I literally just threw a towel on me and ran to the door like, okay, what did I do? And he's like, good job, kid. And I was like, wow. Like, that was that moment when he knew that I deserved it, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was my moment.
How many years ago was that? When did that happen?
That was probably like 2006, you know? So it's a while ago now.
So talk about the transition now, because you're still grinding. You both
Yeah.
are grinding. Like, you're in a whole new life.
We're like-
I mean, obviously with the kids
We're like
coming.
10x grinding right now.
You're 10X. I mean, you were just with Grant Cardone not that long ago. You got the pool and house that you guys just bought.
No.
The house you bought. You got the good roll coming up.
Well,
We're talking
The
about.
thing is, we were like, my office does well, and we have our house. Like, we like, all our systems are in place, and we're comfortable.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
really nice sometimes,
and
by the way.
it was nice, but you're if you're cruising, you're losing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it is. So we decided to put the good roll into effect, which is like, it required a lot of financing. It's a lot of risk. You know, that's where we met you, and we're like, you know, let's just do this thing. But at the same time, you know, other opportunities just drop in your lap, like this house. And
I mean, like, I think you guys can kind of see this view.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just,
if you would see the house that we just bought, it's
looks
in
like
shambles.
someone pooped on top of the mountain.
My pool over here looks like a swamp, and I'm coming from a beautiful, brand new home. But the
we're on
difference
top of the
is
mountain.
We're on top of the world here, and we see the possibility. You know,
Yeah.
some people don't see that.
Yeah, and you know where I like to go? I like to go where?
To the top.
That's right.
I like that. So you guys, you were cruising, comfortable, but even Grant says if you're in that comfortable zone, you're not growing. It's scary. And so
Correct.
you guys, you saw, for you said this to me even too, if you're not there doing adjustments, you're not making money.
Correct.
So now you made the transition where you're creating products, sell online. We're about to launch a huge campaign
Right.
to launch a good roll, which will other products that will come and build your online awareness.
Right.
Because you are the celebrity chiropractor in Hollywood and all known. I mean, who are some of the people you've adjusted?
Just
to name a few.
Just recently, Christina Milian, Byron Scott,
All the
Candice
WWE
Michelle.
wrestlers.
All the wrestlers. All the wrestlers.
Tori Wilson, Chavo Guerrero,
Yeah.
Christy Hemme.
Yeah.
You know,
Rob Dyrdek. You adjusted him
I've
once.
adjusted him.
He's in the film with me. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've adjusted him. Ryan,
Who we're
from
about to go
West
see.
Coast.
Yeah.
And and we got our car being built at West Coast Customs. That's like a huge thing.
What do you call it? The spine.
Huh?
What do you call your car that's at West Coast?
Cairo
Customs?
Caddy.
The Cairo
The
Caddy.
Cairo Caddy.
The Cairo
Yes.
Caddy, 57 Caddy, which is basically the centerpiece of my whole universe of chiropractic.
Besides his wife.
The good. I mean, yeah, she's good too. But it's like we're pimping this car out, and it's a Cairo themed chiropractic.
You live it,
app.
man. You got the car,
Yeah.
you got the tattoo, you got all of it.
Yeah.
You
have to live it.
You have to
and
live
you
it.
have to love it
You have to live it, love it, and become it.
to do it. Yeah.
So what's it been like before? We're going to talk about the good roll before we go. What's it been like for you? Because I've seen the power. When you work as celebrities, I mean, you become a celebrity yourself, but how does that change your business? Just word of mouth and just credibility and everything.
it's cool for business, but really, like, I just love treating families and like kids, moms. Like that's where I really feel the gratification, and and I would love. I'll treat families forever. I ain't retiring from this because it's something I love. You don't retire from something you love. So
Rhinos don't retire, do they?
Yeah, no, they don't. They just keep charging.
They keep charging.
Yep. So it's not something I'm ever.
children over
And
to the
if I
side.
can help, there's no better gratification than like if some dad can't pick up his newborn baby you know,
Yeah.
and you help him do that. Like,
It's all about
that's
helping
the-
people.
That's the best,
Yeah.
you know, and giving.
Serving, you know, like
Yeah.
we've
And
learned
my job's a service.
with a lot of our training, nothing feels better for us than
Giving.
serving and giving.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't play with two catchers mid on, you know?
Right.
And we've
Yeah.
had friends like that and
Yeah.
we've been like that, you
Yeah.
know?
You
And it's
can't-
like
you
you
can't
just
just
never
consume.
feel fulfilled.
Gotta give a little.
You got to
bit.
give.
And when you just start giving, it's like you just grow and you blossom into like
Yeah, it's an instant rush too.
Yeah.
Like it's like, even if you give online to a charity, the second you do it, you're like,
Feels
damn,
good,
I just
don't it?
did that. You know, or you give $20 to somebody.
money?
It's like, it's awesome.
So speaking of giving, let's talk about the good life or the good role.
KenGee bribed our children.
You bribed them.
No,
To be quiet for the show.
I tipped them. And so,
KenGee tipped them to be quiet.
yeah, so a tip.
They're so cute, by the way. You have to watch
First
this
of all,
on the video part
I
of
didn't
this.
write them. It's to tip stands for TIP, to ensure performance. So I say, here's $2. Watch your sister. I know you're gonna perform well. Done.
So I know we got to get.
Now you failed. No, I'm joking.
I know we got to get going to the party.
Thank you.
But before we go, I want to jump into the good roll. So
Okay.
for anybody listening, I mean, by the way,
Aki,
the good
hey,
roll.
that-
The Good Roll is a product that I've used. I love it. It helps. I slept in my side before. Now I sleep in my back. It's a great product. Let's talk about the Good Roll.
Okay.
What is it?
The Good Roll is a pillow I developed for this young lady because every morning she would wake up in a lot of pain.
Hi.
And so I started figuring out, okay, what kind of filling is going to take the pressure off? Because obviously back sleeping is the best for you, but no one can do it. So, and even she can't do it. Even though I tell her to do it every night, she won't do it. So I tried all these different fillings and stuffings over the last year. I tried cherry pits.
Yeah.
I tried clay balls, organic cotton. I tried foam. We went away from foam because foam has problems. And then finally I found this product from northern India that's amazing, along with another product from Asia that's just amazing and cooling, buckwheat and kapok.
Yeah.
And kapok is this amazing fiber. It's called nature's cashmere. And it's so soft and fluffy, and it just molds to your neck. They use it in India for everything.
Yeah.
But no one uses it here because it's a little too expensive. So what we're doing is we're just buying it in bulk and reducing costs and getting the pillow out for less than the price of one of those
Toxic pillows. The ones that start on fire.
Yeah.
We did that demonstration.
know about
Maybe we'll
that.
put that on the page
I don't know
where he
about
did a
that.
torch
I don't know
to
what
them.
you're talking about. I don't know why there's gas masks either, but
So just for me, just showing for example, because you created the product, invented it, but for me, it's helped me sleep better. I used to wake up and I would like crack my neck and it hurt and I go like this. Now I wake up and I'm like, wow, I feel good.
need to
And I
crack
sleep
it.
on my back.
Yeah.
No, it blew my mind. First for a week, I wasn't used to it, but then after about 3-4 weeks in, it's like, whoa, I can't go without it.
Right. It's just we have to. No one's ever been taught how to sleep properly. It's like you're a kid, and you have brothers and sisters. Your parents go to Target or whatever, and they just buy the same pillow.
Yeah.
For all three people, and then
That's it.
And we're all just taught to sleep with these giant things behind our head, like they're okay.
Yeah.
And it's not okay. And then it's been okay until the evolution of cell phones and kids being on these phones,
Looking down.
destroying their posture. And these kids now, their heads are going forward 3 or 4 inches. And I just X-rayed someone that's 12. That's already got arthritis, signs of degeneration, because her
of
neck
looking
has
down.
been so bad for 7 to 8 years.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So now it's time we got to do something about it. And so these
That's-
pillows, they fit kids, adults, they fit any size person. You can adjust them like they're slick.
So we're doing a Kickstarter campaign, and they get access to this. They can
Correct.
get this. They get the 2-pack, so the Kapok and the buckwheat.
It's a system.
For $99.
It's not only a system to sleep better, but it's a system to correct your posture.
Yeah.
like you could use sleep to correct your posture, to undo all the computer work you're doing. It's
like what people don't always understand. Besides, like it doesn't look very sexy to like slump.
Well, it might, because all the kids are slumping now, so it might look sexy if you're like, hey, look at my hump.
But like every vertebrae that comes out, it like affects every organ of your body.
Yeah.
You know, like. You start having stomach pains and heartburn.
Well,
and,
the nerves that are being affected up in their upper back, they go into the lungs and the sinuses, and kids are having a bunch of health problems from slumping and arm pain. They're having carpal tunnel at like 12 and 13.
The little things add up.
Crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
So I highly suggest the pillow. Get the good roll at the goodpillow.com.
Thegoodpillow.com.
Thegoodpillow.com. And before we go, I just want to hear from both of you. What would be your best advice? I mean, you both have achieved huge success. You both live to grind every single day. Clearly, you got 3 kids. You're doing your business life. You're making it all work. Yeah. You're grinding. What's your best advice for anybody out there? Inspiration, words of inspiration.
For me, like, it just comes down to you got to outwork your competition. And you have to serve. It's like a double-ended thing. Like without those two, you won't achieve anything. You know, if you outwork somebody, you're going to be better than somebody. And that's just science. Like that's just how it works. Like there's no shortcuts. There's no easy way out. Just hard work and outwork your competition. And in the process, when you serve, it just like it gives you that yummy, gushy, gratifying feeling. Like I love that. I love my little bubble of love, you know. And if you want that, you have to give it, right? And so give that, and it will come back to you. It's like we bought this house. You know, we were telling you about this, and we're selling our house. And it was this huge risk, and we actually took less money than what our house was worth. And my ego was saying, oh no, it's worth this. And his ego was saying, it's worth this. And our emotions say, our family's here and it's beautiful. And then somebody said to me, why don't you...
sun and shadow right there. It's like so sick right there. Can you grab that Facebook one and just...
But somebody said, why don't you gift that to the next people coming to your house?
Yeah.
Because then you know the gift comes back to you some way.
Yeah.
And do I know what way it comes back? I have no idea. But I know it's how the universe works.
Yeah.
That if I gift, and it's $50,000, it's a lot. It's not like $1,000, you know?
Or 100.
But I'm gifting that to these people. In some way, the universe will gift it back. That's good karma.
That's
it just feels good, you know?
Feels good.
Feels good knowing, like, some way, somehow, God's just going to, like, shed that back to us. Versus being like, you know, I'm not giving anything.
For sure.
You know?
What about you?
For me, it's got to be my affirmations and goals. Like, I do those things. Like, when I went to my chiropractic training, like, my buddy, who was seeing 500 a week, collecting, he was making, like, 60, 70,000 a month. 2 years out of school, and he's like, just read these 3 times a day. And I'm like, I'm the kind of guy that's like, if someone's doing it, I don't ask questions. They cut the fat off for me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So he's all, read these affirmations 3 times a day. I'm like, done. And so I committed. I'm like, I'll read them 3 times a day for 1 year, along with, you got to write your goals down and read those along with affirmations 3 times a day for 1 year. He gave me this little book called It Works.
It's like 10 pages.
10 pages. You can still get it on Amazon probably. But it's anonymous. The guy who wrote it doesn't want to be known for it. But it's just basically read your goals 3 times a day. Don't tell anybody about it. And just visualize it's going to happen. And like, so I just do that. Even if I feel crappy, like I'll wake up and like I'll pull out a new affirmation card and it'll like, I'll read it like I believe it. And when it comes out of my mouth and it enters into your ear doesn't know whether you're lying or not. And it just reprograms your brain and puts you into a good mood. And then like this house, like I've always just wanted to live on a house. So
no, beyond that, he has always said, first of all, we teach our kids, where are we going?
To the top.
Always. So, and he's always wanted this house with a view, and he's always said that. And we live in California, like to get a house with a view, that's
Like
you know,
this.
more than 200 degrees is like, you know, you need to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was like the universe heard that and God. And
Yeah, we
And
would
this
always
house-
drive by houses on a
this
mountain. I'm like,
house-
there's my house. There's my house.
the
Top of the
name of
mountain.
this house is called Top of the World.
Oh.
Like, that's what this
It
house
literally-
is called.
Yeah.
And I was like, I cannot believe, like, we are getting what he's put out into the universe,
Yeah.
and it's called Top of the World. You
And
know,
I've,
it's
I've been
like,
saying that for our whole relationship, almost 20 years.
yeah.
Top.
And
right
you're
on
here.
the top.
You're on the
right
top.
on top. Finally, it just opened up. Boom.
Out of nowhere, too. Like, we weren't looking to move, and it was like, honestly,
Yeah.
I felt like God just, like, was kicking me in my back saying, go. You need to go, you know? And it,
Yeah.
got to listen to that stuff.
It's because you're good people. You're giving back.
Yeah.
You're living the grind every single day. I mean, you're both your journeys, and you're doing it together. I mean,
Yeah.
I go back to when you get a powerhouse couple that work together in perfect harmony towards your goals. You made it to
Yeah.
the top. We are on the top. By the way, this is a great fucking view. This view is amazing, and I wish you all could see it. Maybe we'll get some B-roll footage.
Okay.
And for all of you watching, listening, go to thegoodpillow.com. Get this product. I've been using it for 6 weeks now. Great product. I mean, so many people are having
And
success.
it's so sexy looking, right?
It is
Yeah.
sexy.
And
It's
it
the
looks
best looking
nice.
And
pillow
by the
out
way,
there.
check out the video we created. You're going to love it.
gosh,
The 2
it's so
stars in
funny.
it is so funny. We just filmed it all day. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Check it out. And for all of you listening, you know what time it is. It is time to go out there, create something great, and become unforgettable, because life is too short not to. I'm Bernie C. Adams. Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah.